Okay. Well, I would like to welcome everyone. This is the 6th Economic Summit, Istanbul Economic Summit. I've been privileged to be in the summit in the first two summits, I suppose, as I remember, and I was gone for the pandemic era for a couple of years. So here I am again here, this time as a moderator. And well, we welcome you all, and the title today is the Global Value Chains, which we understand the meaning more so after the pandemic times, that the whole world had suffered so much, the population, unfortunately. And then, of course, we're going to be talking and discussing the geopolitical and geoeconomical challenges and opportunities for Turkey, for EU. And today we welcome Mr. Minister İlyas Usero. Welcome, sir. And Kazakhstan and Turkey, we appreciate that you're here, and then we of course appreciate the good relations between our two countries. Thank you. So let me first start introducing the panelists. So here on my left side, Pınar Eczacıbaşı. She has several hats, and one of which is let me see. So I shouldn't make a mistake here. Let me read the English title. President of the German Turkish Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and she's also representing the Z Bank in Turkey. So welcome, Pınar Hanım. Next to her is Mr. Umberto Del Panta. He's the representative of EIB Bank in Turkey. In fact, I also work for EIB indirectly. I'm with the EIF. So welcome, Umberto, which is an institution that I know quite well. And next to him is Mr. President, Vice President İlyas Usero. He's arrived from Kazakhstan, and he's the Vice Minister of National Economy of the Republic of Kazakhstan. Welcome, sir. And then we have as a guest Professor Dr. Bülent Güloğlu. He's the Vice Rector in Istanbul Technical University. So, looking at these titles here, as we all know, the world population has suffered a great deal during the pandemic era. And yes, as we are looking into recovering from the painful era as such, yet we have been challenged by the Russian attack to Ukraine, and that has obviously had impacts on each country, on all of our economies. One thing for sure, I believe, that the pandemic era showed us that global values are very important, especially in the sense that we should take care of our globe, our earth, and the green economy as such has become very important. So it's something that we cannot do without, that's for sure. And the world trade has suffered due to the pandemic era, and especially the supply chains have, as you know, interrupted. So there was a slowdown in the world trade, and in the supply side, also in the demand side, but it came to such a point that the supply chain side was so disrupted that it affected the world trade a great deal. So we've seen decreases in the trade in the world, and then yet we haven't recovered yet from that, and now we see the effects of the war. And then, of course, that shows us that the world output growth is going down, and then we are we might, and the figures show that we might go into a recession. So that's a painful, again, a painful next couple of years in front of us. So when it comes to geopolitical and geoeconomical challenges and opportunities, Turkey, of course, stands in a very important geographical place in the world, and then, of course, with all our neighbors in some trouble. So we are in the era that we are going to hopefully establish new relationships with our new partners. And one thing that I believe that has, I think, struck me quite a bit, that after or with the war, that showed us that how fragile the economies can be, especially the Russia putting so much into this energy blockages to Europe, to all of these countries, and then in return the US and the EU, especially, of course, putting sanctions on Russia. So like in the Cold War era, we again see that there's a block in the world again, so which is again another challenge for the world. So I would first like to ask Umberto, as he is sitting in a very important position from the European side, where do you see the Turkish economy and the EU economy with all these challenges, and hopefully do you see an opportunity for Turkey and for the EU specifically? Okay, well, you're absolutely right. I mean, as a locomotive country of the EU, Germany has suffered quite a bit, and I think the contraction of German economy is somewhat one of the worst after the Second World War, and the highest inflation rates we see in the EU, which never ever mentioned before, although in Turkey we have been used to this unfortunately in the past. So those dark days have come again in Turkey in terms of inflation, high inflation days. But well, thank you very much. So you can always ask questions after we finish the round of questions. So I would like to ask Bülent Bey, could you please analyze as well, after the pandemic era, where do you see the opportunities and challenges, risks for Turkey? You can talk about a little bit about EU if you would like, but specifically let's concentrate on Turkey, I believe, especially after the war as well. Tabii, buyurun. Gerçekten konumu stratejik, Rusya ile olan ilişkileri son derece stratejik. Bu enerjide yaşanan sıkıntılar belki Türkiye'yi daha değişik ve stratejik bir noktaya getiriyor. Evet. Öte yandan bahsettiğiniz finansal boyutlar, yani enerji maliyetlerindeki artış tabii ister istemez hiper artık enflasyon diyeceğimiz boyutlara geldi ve Türkiye'nin enflasyonla verdiği savaş diğer ülkelerden biraz daha farklı. Yani biz faiz indirimine devam ederken işte majör ekonomiler faiz artışlarıyla bunu dizginlemeye çalıştılar. Gene belki bir roundumuz daha olur.
Tabii ki.
Pınar Hanım, müsaade ederseniz ben Sayın Bakan'a bir söz vermek istiyorum. Çünkü Türkiye özelinde epeyce konuştuk. Sonra size döneceğim. Mr. Minister, welcome again to Turkey. We place a great value for our relationship with Kazakhstan, obviously. And Could you maybe give us some, or analyze the situation and give us your opinion on Kazakhstan's challenges and opportunities in the new geopolitical and economical world after the war, specifically, Ukrainian-Russian war? Well, thank you very much, Mr. Minister. So, as you suggested, Kazakhstan economy has also been under some strains, but there's also some opportunities that are created with the new... No. Pardon. And there are some advantages, as you suggested. There are some relocations of some companies to, from Russia to Kazakhstan, as I understand. So there are opportunities and there are challenges, just like our country is facing. But here, I think the most important is that our cooperation with Kazakhstan, as you suggested, Turkey is one of the 5 major partners for Kazakhstan. That's very pleasing to hear. So I was just informed that there's another panel is going to start, because I think we started a bit late. But I have to give a chance to Pınar Hanım just to say a few words, especially on the financial world. What do we see with the new after the war era? You know, what's happening for Turkish financial markets sector?
Thank you, Finn. This is a powerful example that other countries could follow, and it's good to hear that it has the potential to create jobs in countries, and because these are major investment opportunities. Our next speaker is Ms. Nina Vaskunlahti, Under-Secretary of State for External Economic Relations from Finland Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We would like to hear from you about a green and gender equal Nordic region. Ms. Vaskunlahti has been serving as the Undersecretary since June 2019. Her most recent assignments included Ambassador of Finland to India and Bangladesh, and previously Ambassador to Turkey, as well as Director General of the Department for Russia, Eastern Europe, and Central Asia at the Ministry for Foreign Affairs. She has always been a strong advocate for gender equality. So we will discuss about gender equality issues in the second round, but for this round, we have a couple of questions for you. We would like to hear from you what are the Finnish industries doing on sustainability and green transition. Also, what kind of collaboration opportunities do you see between Finnish, Nordic, and Turkish industries?